Hey everybody, today we are going to be discussing faith. I love this topic and it's really interesting. It's always sort of held like a special place in my heart because from a young age, it seemed to be something that was like, I don't know if I want to say easy for me, but it came naturally to me. And I remember one of the leaders, I grew up in church, one of the leaders had said to me, he's like, Megan, you have the gift of faith. And one of the things is like that, and I've heard Bob Proctor talk about it too, is religions and churches and stuff like that. They all talk about faith and have faith and all this kind of thing, but they don't explain what it is. And if you don't have it, how do you develop it? How do you grow that? And it can be just taken for granted that you should know what it is all about. And the thing is, it's an incredibly, incredibly important aspect. So we're going to dive into faith today and get a deeper understanding of how that works. All right, so faith is the head chemist of the mind. When faith is blended with thought, the subconscious mind instantly picks up the vibration, translates it into its spiritual equivalent, and transmutes it into infinite intelligence, as in the case of prayer. So this is out of the book Think and Grow Rich. And we are talking about this whole concept of having the thought that is then tuning into a vibration, and then we experience it on the spiritual or energetic level, and then we actually get it on the physical. And depending on who's explaining this process, they're all explaining the same thing. Religion can call it prayer, quantum physics calls it transmutation of energy, the mindset community can call it manifestation, but we're all talking about this same thing that's happening, the creation process from thought to thing. And then Bob quotes Clarence Smithson saying that faith is the ability to see the invisible, believe in the incredible, and that will permit you to receive what the masses call impossible. Faith is a very, 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 very key element in the process of creation. And if you lack faith, you won't see the results that you want. The thing is, nobody lacks faith. It's just that most people have faith in the negative, or that things will go bad for them, or that life is hard, or that it's hard to make money. They have very strong faith in those things. They lack the ability to choose to have faith in positive things and the things that they desire to have, because the program is so deep that life is hard and everything sucks. We're gonna go into this a little bit more. So I'm gonna use the method of explaining this out of transmutation of energy and this concept, and that everything is energy and it's all vibrating on these different frequencies. We think we're separate beings, we think we're separate people, we think we're separate from the chair and from the building outside and all that kind of stuff. Everything that you're experiencing and perceiving is aspects of you. There's no definitive separation point, and we are all one. We're all part of oneness. We are all like universal consciousness has gone out into little bits of itself in order to experience itself through duality and apparent separateness, which it isn't, but it's like we're seeing each other through each other. A way to kind of illustrate this is I've got these lines here on the page for these levels of frequency. This image is not accurate, obviously. Like it looks like these levels are separate, but they aren't. So a way to kind of describe this is to talk about it as steam, water, and ice. There is no specific point of separation between the three states of water, but it's levels of frequency, and steam being the highest vibration, water being about in the middle, and then ice being of the lower frequency or density. And that's usually the way it goes, or that's typically the way it goes. That of a highest vibration is non-fixed, it's non-physical, and it is light. And the lower the vibration, the more dense it gets. So here we have the illustration with steam, water, and ice. The highest frequency is pure spirit. The lowest is physical. Intellectual is in the middle. That's the part that allows us to tap into the higher side of our personality to improve the lower side. And all of the answers are in the higher part of ourselves. So this is important to understand, because this is how faith really plays the role in this process. So at the highest frequency, the highest level, we have spirit. And remember, none of these things are separate from the other. They're blended into each other. And energy is never created or destroyed. It's just changes form. So when we think that, like, let's look at this glass right here. It's a physical object, but this glass started as a thought. It started as an idea. It started on the spirit realm, on that frequency. For that thought, for that energy, so thought is energy, for that thought to be transmuted into an actual physical thing that we're touching right now, of this lower vibration, this denser vibration, it took a mind to have faith, to hold the image of the glass, to transmute that energy of thought into physical thing. if it just stayed as a thought, if it just stayed as, I have an idea of a glass that's going to hold water and it's going to be in this shape, and it just stayed there, we wouldn't have the glass. They had to have faith. They had to have that like intellectual element, the faculty of the mind, to hold that image of the glass and then actually move that glass, that idea into form. If they just forgot the idea or didn't take any action on it or nothing, the glass would not be there. So thought without faith, things happening. So your ability to have faith is going to make or break your ability to create. And we really do underestimate the power of this. We kind of disregard it as something that's maybe irrelevant. I'm just like, well, no, I'm just going to go to work and I'm going to do my stuff or whatever. The thing is, you are having faith all the time in your car to get you to work. The sun's going to rise in the morning, that you're going to get a paycheck by, working a certain amount of hours. Like, you are doing it for things that you think are just kind of normal stuff. Honestly, like, your car could break down, your business could crumble, like all kinds of things could happen, but you're moving forward in faith as everything is going fine. What happens is you can struggle to have the faith that is something beyond what you've done before, or that is new, or that you don't have the know-how or the awareness on how to do it. The thing is, you can just as easily create and manifest the things that you've never done before, that are bigger, more amounts of money, adventures, travels, whatever it is, just as easily as you can get in your car and drive to work. It's just that you think it's a bigger deal, and so your faith wavers. So why not be delirious and just be like, I'm gonna just, whatever I want, I'm just gonna fully believe in it, and just release yourself of the stress and pressure of things not happening for you. And you can, and I like to use the word being delirious about this, because you just do it. You just have the idea and you just don't question it. Like, let go of the doubts. Don't worry about it. It's all working out, and you can just move forward in a much more effortless, fun, free, and happy way. But that element of faith is so crucial, because if you don't have it, you're not going to move forward. You're not going to take the action. You can have the dream and the idea, but it will stay a dream. It will stay an idea without the faith that goes along to bring it into, to transmute that energy into the physical. Okay, so if any of you follow Bob Proctor, you've seen this little image here over on the side. This is a little stick man that he uses to explain how our beingness works and how the process of creation works. We have our mind that is the conscious mind, then we have the subconscious mind, and we have our body. And source energy, it's flowing to and through all of us all the time. Nobody's getting more or less source energy than the other person. It's basically what we're doing with that energy that's creating different results. So your belief or your faith is the element which determines the action of your subconscious mind. That is, if you grasp this at a deep level, it will change your life, because you do have control over this. If you imagine like source energy is flowing to and through you, and you're having thoughts and ideas about things and about what you want to create, and if there is like a tap, like a opening that you can screw kind of tighter or open up fuller in order for that energy to create things through you, that tightening and loosening valve would be faith. How much faith can you have? And your faith is tested by what you perceive as being a big deal. It's like too big. It's like so huge. I can do this little thing over here, but I can do this thing over here. That's too big. And that's where you're going to see where your faith is at. How much have you developed your ability in this area, and how strong are you in your faith? And you are in complete control of this. You can change it. If you lack faith, you can change it. You can grow in your faith. You can grow in your ability to open that tap and allow more and more energy to flow out of you into the creation of whatever it is that you want to form and shape those creations into. So then the thought, remember, this is the energy coming down into all of us. You have the thought. It is your faith mixed with that emotion that equals the vibrational alignment. I'm breaking down the creation process here. So I have the thought that I'm going to make $1 million a year. Currently, I'm making $100,000 a year. I thought I'm going to make $1 million a year. So there's the thought. Now I have to have faith that that's possible. If there's no faith, nothing's happening. I'm staying at my job and I'm not taking any action, doing anything different. So now I have the faith. Okay, yes, I believe I can do it. Then we got to mix that faith with emotion in order to tune ourselves vibrationally onto what it is that we want. Because that's what we use. We use the feeling, how we feel, in order to align ourselves with what we desire. So we are like, okay, $1 million a year, that feels like success, that feels like security, that feels like ease, that feels like power, that feels like freedom. And we get an understanding of that feeling, and then we begin to feel that stuff. We feel those emotions. We feel good. We feel joy. We feel happiness. We feel abundance. We feel that stuff. So now we've gotten that alignment happening where this channel, the energy is flowing in, the thought, we're feeling it, we're aligning with it. The law of attraction is going to work, and like attracts like, and it's drawing in all these things in order for us to make that $1 million. And then we take that inspired action where we get the idea of like, a person comes in, they're like, hey, I have this business opportunity, and we actually act on it. We're like, let me go, let me do it, let me try it, and we go for it and we move. And then there is the materialization and the manifestation of that thought. And that is the process of transmutation of energy. That is the process of the thought becoming thing. It's very, very simple, and you are doing it all the time. You have a thought that you're going to have a spaghetti dinner. The idea is there. You're like, it's done. You're like, okay, I just got to run to the store and grab the ingredients. You take the action. You go get the ingredients. You come home, you make it. You have the spaghetti dinner in front of you and you eat it. You've manifested a spaghetti dinner. It's not a big deal at all. And it requires no more of you to manifest a spaghetti dinner as it does to manifest $1 million, as it does to manifest a partner, a certain kind of body, whatever it is. It's your thinking that it's harder that makes it harder for you, because that's the thought that you're having. And then it creates doubt in you. That creates non-vibrational alignment with the idea. You're doing it to yourself. It's not that the government is oppressing you. It's not that the economy is bad. It's not that you can't get enough good employees. It's not that none of that kind of stuff. It's within you, because whatever is going on within yourself is going to be reflected back to you in your reality. You're creating it all the time. So if we see that this is the process and we begin to understand how this is really working, then we are very empowered to choose how we move through this process. And then you are empowered to experience and create whatever you want in this lifetime. But there's no more blame. There's no more like accusing anybody else or playing the victim or none of that kind of stuff. Because if you do that at all, now you're disempowered. Now you're giving your power away to something else. So you are the most incredible, amazing, powerful being to do all these things. And I will continue to repeat this kind of information and for you to understand this process, because the more I repeat it and the more we share stories of this process, the more your faith will grow. The more you will be like, it happened in this little way, or it happened for Megan, or it happened for Lily, or it happened for Natalie. And I saw it happen in my own business or here, and we begin to deepen our faith and expand our faith to believe in what we think are bigger things, which they aren't, but we think they are, so that you can eventually get to that point where faith just second nature to you. There isn't doubt. There's just, I'm going to do this thing. Don't know how it's going to happen. I'm going to enjoy the journey. Bada boom, bada bing. Like you just go. Like it's just ease. And you can get to the point where just the way that you have faith that the sun rises every morning, you have faith that anything you decide you want, it's done. And you don't get worked up and you don't doubt and worry because it's taking a week or a month or 10 years. Time is an illusion. Don't be bothered by it, but enjoy the unfolding. Always remember, you wouldn't want to get everything all at once. What would you do with the rest of your life? The exciting, joyful part is the process. So don't let perceived delay in time discourage you. Don't let that take away your faith that it's coming. The same way when you plant a seed for a carrot, just because a carrot doesn't pop out of the ground the next day, doesn't mean you lose the faith that you're getting a carrot. And it's exciting, and you're like, I wonder when it's gonna pop out, and then you see a little sprout, and you're like, yay, it's going to grow. Like you add some water, and you see it grow, and then the day that you pull it out, you're like, wow, this is a beautiful carrot. It's been fun the whole time, unless you're someone who's grumpy until you get the carrot. Like there would be people that would still be like that they're only happy once they pull the carrot out of the ground. But we're not those kind of people. We're enjoying the process. This is how it works. It's not like your faith has to waver. So don't let your faith waver with your goals, just because it's not popping out of the ground the second you think about it. And for whatever reason, you're each on your own journey, and there's a reason that it's happening the way it's happening for you. For whatever your soul has come here to experience, whatever lessons you need to learn, whatever things need to be unearthed out of you, like your triggers and your traumas and your stuff that is still vibrating within you, you could be experiencing things in order for you to see what's going on in yourself that you need to let go of, so that you can be happy and free and joyful in the things you want to experience. Don't compare yourself to others. None of that kind of stuff. And just know everything, always utilize the phrase, everything is always working out for me, for my highest good and the highest good of all. And then you don't have to question at all the process that you're going through. Faith does not need to waver. If you're gonna know anything, know that. Let all the doubts and fears and everything be the part that you battle. Like, oh, that's not true. That's not true. Don't ever think abundance isn't true. Health isn't true. Freedom isn't true. Those are the truths. It's the other stuff that is the illusion. The power of faith. If you believed in your goals and dreams as much as you believed in the negative ideas in your heads, you would be unstoppable. So I would like do a little bit of self-reflection and think of like, because our results always show us what's going on within ourselves. Some of us have a lot of faith in things going wrong. Some of us have a lot of faith that we are unlucky, or that other people are successful but we're not, or that it's hard to make money. Or we have a lot of faith that people cancel on us, or people abandon us, or, you know, I'm overweight. You know, we have a lot of faith in these things that we don't actually want to experience. It's ridiculous. Why would we do that? Why? Why would you have faith in things you don't want? If you can create whatever experience, whatever reality you want, why would you create things you don't want? Like, it's really weird that you would do that. Like, it's really weird. And that's why it is also so important that you have faith in what I'm telling you. Because if you don't believe what I'm saying is true, then you're at a deficit already before you even get going. So you have to really build your faith in this information so that you can make the change in your life and actually apply the information, which is that whatever I think and vibrationally with my emotion align with, I get. I remember someone asking Abraham Hicks about like instant manifestation and, you know, some of these, I think one of the examples they used, well, what about regrowing a human arm that had been cut off or something like that? And Abraham was like, instant manifestation is 100% possible. And yes, if we can regrow a human arm. And they were like, well, why hasn't it been done yet? And Abraham was like, because nobody believes it can be done. So, and it's the same thing with that, like the record for running a mile in a certain amount of time. Like there was, for years and years and years and years, this, I think running a mile, was it in a minute? I don't know, it was a certain amount of time. Like nobody was able to do it. For so long, people tried, and like the fastest runners in the world couldn't hit that time. And then someone did it. They ran a mile in a minute. Let's say I don't know if that's the time, but say they did it in a minute. And then within like a short period of time, a bunch of people were able to hit that same time. Like, and now it's like that record's being beaten. But it's just in people's heads. It was just in their heads that it wasn't possible. So it can be challenging when you have an idea that nobody's done before, for you to have the strong enough faith to know that it's doable when you don't have the proof. But most of the stuff that people want's already been done before. You've already, like a lot of stuff that you want might be a certain amount of income or certain kind of business, whatever, it's been done. You don't even have to conjure up enough faith that it's possible at all. Think about the Wright brothers that were like trying to like fly an airplane, not been done before. That took a lot of faith to be able to transmute that thought into physical. So we're not even, with what we're wanting, it's like, it's not even that big of a deal. It's already been done. And you can utilize that to help support your faith. The subconscious mind will translate into its physical equivalent a thought impulse of a negative or destructive nature just as readily as it will act upon thought impulses of a positive, constructive nature. So this is why I implore you and I beg of you, think on things that you are good. Think on things that you want in your life. And be so strict with yourself and what you think. Like, don't be realistic. Like, don't be, because realistic is created by people that don't know what's going on. They don't know how things work. Like, don't believe that what people are saying, what they are saying, the masses and like the critics and like the people who make laws and the government. Like, they don't know. And if they do know, a lot of them are using it for the negative side in order to keep people in line and small and limited. So don't be realistic. What you think is realistic. And just be like, I want to choose delusional things. Like, literally be like, okay, I want to believe that the more money I spend, the more I make. Because most people would be like, well, the more I spend, the less I have. If you don't want that reality, don't think that thought. I'm telling you, you are that powerful that you can think what seemingly delusional things and then experience that reality. Just believe it. Just know it. Just have the faith. And then It is essential for you to encourage the positive emotions as dominating forces of your mind and discourage and eliminate negative emotions. A mind dominated by positive emotions becomes a favorable abode for the state of mind known as faith. I am not a proponent of positive thinking in terms of suppressing all the garbage and stuff that's going on within you. What I am a proponent of is facing that garbage. So that's the limiting beliefs, that's the negativity, that's the bitterness and the grudges and, resentment and judgment. Face it and then deal with it and let it go. If there's all this negative emotion going on within you, like, look at it so that you can heal it and move on. Don't ignore it. But then in doing that, the positive emotions and the positive feeling will become more and more and more effortless. So just keep that in mind with that statement. And then every man is what he is because of the dominating thoughts which he permits to occupy his mind. So what kind of person do you want to be? What kind of life do you want to live? How do you want to impact others? How wealthy do you want to be? How free do you want to be? It's completely 100% up to you. And it starts with how you think. You're thinking, and then just be it. Just imagine yourself. You're on this path of believing that I always use the example of money because it relates to most people. You're on this path of believing that you make $100,000 a year. Just literally step over onto the path that you make $1 million a year. Just switch it in your mind. And you just do it. That's it. That's all. It's so simple. It tends to just get overcomplicated. So if you're struggling again to have faith, here's a few tips on how to develop it. It is a muscle that you can improve upon and grow in. You can grow your faith by affirmation or repeated instructions to the subconscious mind through the principle of autosuggestion, which we're going to talk a bit more about autosuggestion on our next call together. And that's out of the book, Think and Grow Rich. When I see people using autosuggestion, just being like, I'm a millionaire, I'm a millionaire, I'm a millionaire, and they're saying it over and over again, and there's no real emotion and not really claiming it, I don't see it as being very helpful. It's doing it as like a robot, and it's not really making a difference for some people. And they're like, oh, I'm doing my affirmations, but I'm not seeing any change. Well, yeah, that'll be why. And just think about how much things were affirmed to you as a child. For example, your name, how many times that was said to you over and over in order for it to be part of you and who you are. So just saying your affirmation once in a while, like, probably not going to really make a massive difference for you. But this is a way, by doing it intensely, that we can make a shift happen. I use the word brainwash yourself. I feel like I brainwashed myself into the way that I think today. And it took me about 2 years of intense brainwashing. And when I say that, I mean throughout the day, if I didn't need to actually consciously think on something like writing a paper or something like that, I was listening to audios. So Bob Proctor, Earl Nightingale, Joe Dispenza, any of these kinds of people. And I was like listening to it all the time. And at night I would listen to they have those 8-hour subliminal frequency things. And I would listen to that. I would write out my goals and read it out in an audio about who I wanted to be and everything I wanted to create in my life. And then I would loop it and I would put it in my earbud and I would listen to it in the car where I was going. I was incredibly negative, and I had a very negative narrative running through my mind all the time. My mind would wander, it was replaying conversations of people who had hurt me in the past, or like daydreaming what I was going to say to this person and I was going to tell them off. It was worrying about the future, worrying about my health. Are my kids going to be okay? Is the government going to invade and attack us and do all these terrible things? Conspiracy theories, everything. It was just, that was my mind. So I tell you that to let you know, you can make a change in how you think. You can make a change in that filter where the energy is coming through, and then it's going through that filter of whether it's negativity or positivity, which is then creating the results in your life. But if I'm honest, it did take me about 2 years of being very intentional with it in order to change that for me. Whereas now, my mind wandering, when it wanders, I think it's about my dreams and what I'm creating and like what I want to do in my life and what I'm grateful for and stuff like that. And I'm very peaceful and happy most of the time. So studying this kind of stuff and also studying this material, reading books, hearing from other people who have done this will also really develop your faith that the material is true, that it's real for you. When you hear all the stories, it's like, oh yeah, like this actually works, because you need to believe in this concept in order for you to actually then be able to do the process of creation in a way that benefits what it is that you desire. So that's why study is really good and important as well. And then surrounding yourself with people who have faith to influence you to have that same faith. That's why clients that I've worked with, I'm like, lean on my belief. I know without a shadow of a doubt that what I'm saying is true about how this process works. I've seen it, I've experienced it, I know it, I've done so much research and reading and everything, like I don't doubt it at all. And I don't doubt it for any single one of any person I come in contact with. So having someone support you in that way who can believe in you more than you believe in yourself, that can believe in this stuff, is another way to help you grow in your faith. Because if someone keeps telling you something over and over again, you start believing it. So it is actually really important to have support in your process. That's why you guys are all here. That's why you guys have coaches and mentors and stuff in your life, so that you can move forward and grow in these ways. So those are just some tips on how to develop faith. Okay. This is what I would encourage you to do this week to implement this. So I would like you to choose some sort of a result that you want to experience in your life. It can be big or small, what you think is big or small. It can be a certain amount of money. It can be a trip you want to take. It can be a way of thinking. Just choose something that you want that result in your life. I want to have lots of free time to spend with my family. Like, whatever the thing is for you. I want to experience laughter. Like, the door is wide open for what you want to choose. Then consume content that shows others experiencing the same result. So if you say you want to be able to work from your laptop and travel, there's a whole massive amount of people that are doing this. Go look at them, go see them, go see, wow, yeah, this is a very possible thing. There's all these people doing it. And some of them are like a fraction as smart as you are, and they're doing it. And so this is what it's doing. It's helping you grow in your faith that this is a possible thing to do. If there's something I want to do, if I want to climb Mount Everest, I'm going to go and connect and follow and watch people that have done it, who climb mountains and do this kind of stuff. And I'm going to look at their story and I'm going to see where they came from. And I'm going to see, wow, like, okay, they were 200 pounds and now look at them. They've climbed Mount Everest and they've done it. And I can see and start expanding my ability to believe in that thing that maybe I didn't really fully believe in before. And then this is the brainwashing part. And some of you are not going to do this. And I'm going to tell you right now, you will not get as good of results. And some of you are going to take this seriously, and then you are going to experience what most people don't get to experience. Again, it is really up to you. Who do you want to be? How powerful do you want to be? How much do you want to choose what you experience in this lifetime? If you want to be very serious about this, do things like what I said I did for 2 years. Play these, there's all kinds of them on YouTube. It'll be like, just if you type in like subliminal messages for wealth, or subliminal messages for love, or for healing or prosperity or whatever, and just play it. Play it while you're sleeping, play it in the background while you're cleaning your house, whatever it is. Like, take this seriously. Take it seriously. Like, it's your life we're talking about. Take it seriously that I'm always like, make sure you're playing and having lots of fun, but like also take it seriously in terms of your knowingness that you can live the most incredible and amazing life, doing everything that you love and in it that excites you and brings you joy. We want to get rid of the garbage thinking that's stopping you from waking up in the morning elated that you are having this human experience, that you are the universe experiencing itself through this body, the beauty of creation, the amazing experience of the spectrum of emotion. Like, allow yourself to be blissfully happy. And if that means for a while you need to do this kind of work to get rid of the garbage thinking that's in your head, then I would say it's worth it. And it's never too late. And you're never too old, you're never too short or too broke or none of that kind of stuff in order to be happy. Bonus is find a mentor. So hire a coach, get a friend, or find a person that's like done what you want to do. So that could be in business, that could be in fitness, that could be in something, and just connect with a person that has already done what you want. Take them for lunch, like just get these people in your life that will get you to where you want to go. Because then you can technically feed off of their energy to help you grow. And then I'm going to show you a video about how faith is about letting go. I really like this thing because we get super wrapped up in making everything happen on our own. It's all up to us. And that's why it's so hard to have faith, because you're like, I don't know how I'm going to make this whole thing happen. And I really love, I don't know if you guys have ever heard of Bashar, but he channels sort of the same thing as like Abraham Hicks. And he's talking about letting go. And I really equate that faith is about letting go. So I'm going to play that for you.
Please take it to heart. It is simpler than you think. Literally, listen to that sentence. It's simpler than you think. Every one of you is a current in the ocean of creation. Your current knows where you need to go. Surrender is not giving up control. Surrender is going with the flow of your current in the natural control that's built into it. You don't have to control it in any extra way. Let your physical mind relax. Let it do the job it was designed to do, which is to give you a physical experience of what's happening in the moment. Ride the current. You'll wind up where you need to go. It's that simple. So stop thinking so much and just go with the flow.
I love the way he puts it, because you have to have that faith in the current. Imagine yourself getting into this river, or like there's a destination at the other end of the continent that you want to get to, and you honestly can step into the river and just ride the river and you're going to get there. But what most people are doing is they're like, I'm gonna hike there, or they're gonna go the other direction down the river, or they're gonna like put a motor on their boat pointed in the wrong direction and they're gonna fight the current the whole way. Or they worry the entire way that they're not gonna get there. They think, how's it gonna work? What am I gonna do if there's a rock? Or what am I gonna do if the river stops flowing? Or, like there's all this fear and this doubt and everything. And all you have to do is just surrender to the current, and it's gonna take you exactly where you wanna go. And you can laugh along the way, you could splash in the water, you could enjoy the beautiful scenery. And it's so simple, it's so easy. And whether you make it hard or easy, you're still gonna get there. It's still happening for you. And that's that element of faith, right? That you are divinely guided. You are carried in the palm of the universe's hand. You cannot be more supported. You cannot be more loved. You're never like left alone or abandoned or nothing. And the interesting thing is that you and the river are one. You're it. You're with yourself, guiding yourself. So the doubts and the fears and the lack of faith, if you really understand this, it's irrelevant. It won't even be an issue for you. Have faith that everything is working out for your highest good. Let go of having to have everything figured out and having to know the how. There's no way you can have it all figured out. It's impossible. You don't know all the things at play. You think you can, but you can't. And when you just surrender and let go and have faith, it's not that you're letting go of control of what you're going to experience. It's that you're letting go of the need to try and figure it out and make it happen, which creates all the doubt in faith in the first place. So when you do surrender and you just even feel it now, just think like, wow, I'm just carried in the current to all the where I'm supposed to be going, and it's working out for my highest good. Like, don't you feel just ease? Doesn't it feel like just a burden is like let go? It feels like pleasure, it feels like bliss, it feels like gratitude, it feels like joy. Just ride the current, enjoy the journey, and everything will work out even better than what you imagine. You think the thought, you know it's done, and just enjoy the ride. Enjoy the unfolding. The desires, you might think that you're desiring them and you're making it happen. You're a channel for experience. Your body's a channel for experience. And the ideas, and they're implanted, and then they're manifested through you, and you're just experiencing all this stuff. You are the experience. There's no need to have resistance around it to feel the negative emotions. You can really just enjoy. Have that faith, know that it's true for you, and then have so much fun. Enjoy. Then you'll be able to have that faith in whatever the heck you want, and you'll be unstoppable. All right, so next week will be on auto-suggestion. We're gonna go into that in a little bit more detail, and then utilize that tool in order to get even more and more results, build faith, and shift how we are experiencing and thinking and feeling in this reality. I hope you really enjoyed that video and were able to take away some nuggets that are helping you on your journey. I am deeply committed to my mission to raise the vibration of the world one person at a time. Of course, that starts with me and my own journey, and then extends through the teaching and energy and healing work that I do on a day-to-day basis. I see really two angles to come at this journey of evolution for us to raise our vibration so that we can experience abundance and freedom and joy, those loving relationships, those healthy bodies, all those things that you're searching for. It actually is a journey that happens from within. And on the one angle, we come at this from understanding, gaining wisdom, beginning to discover ourselves and who we really are. How does the cosmos work? What is the soul's journey? This is why I teach on YouTube and give videos on my social media, in order to gain understanding and wisdom and awareness so that we can logically move ourselves forward. The other angle to come at this is through inner work, through healing, through what has been coined as shadow work. This is why I do energy work, and I use things like the emotions code, like bioresonance, do subconscious reprogramming, brain entrainment, all these beautiful and wonderful things in order to do work inwardly to shift our vibration. When I say shift our vibration, you naturally, at spirit soul level, vibrate at a very high level with perfect abundance and freedom and joy and all those things. But what happens though through life experiences, we tend to hold on to things like limiting beliefs, traumas, fears, doubts, anxiety, stress, all this kind of stuff that's not you. So our journey of raising our vibration is actually a journey of letting go of that which is not us. And so that is the other angle that I utilize in order to help people raise their vibration into these places that feel really, really good. What happens over YouTube though, or over these videos, is that there can be a disconnect. You can't necessarily talk to me or ask your questions. And so you sometimes feel like you're alone. So I'm really excited to announce that I have a membership where we can meet once a week, and you're able to ask me questions as well as work with other people that are like-minded and on this journey together of raising our vibration, of manifesting lives that are beautiful and wonderful, that we're so happy and excited to be alive, living our passions and doing the things that bring us a lot of joy. On those calls, I will actually work with you individually as well. For people who are wanting help, I can release negative trapped emotions right there in person. For those who would like that done, I can use my bioresonance technology in order to read your frequency right then and there, and actually send you frequency that will help bring more balance for you as well. And you can also, again, ask your questions, and I share even more tips and tricks than I have available currently on YouTube on how to heal the shadow on the day-to-day when you're on your own and I'm not there with you. What are these things and practices that you can do that ultimately raise your vibration? As we shift and release that which is not us, all the money and the relationships and the love and the health, it just is a byproduct of that. It's a symbol of the shift that's happening within yourself. So if this membership is something that sounds exciting to you, you want to connect with other like-minded people, you want to connect with me and grow in community together, there is a link in the description where you're able to get more information on that and sign up, and I would love to see you there.